So Deb's going to run us through technology, your technology empire part 2, and share with you guys some really cool, fun stuff about how you can be using Vector Connect and all the systems that they have in place for you at the highest levels and make them more efficient for your business. So let's bring her on up. Give her a round of applause. I say let's give her a standing ovation, gosh darn it. Let's do it. They deserve it.
Aw, thank you. You know, it's funny. I was sitting in the back of the room, and Josh, had said he's known me for years, and I realized I was looking around the room in the back, and I'm thinking, I think I might be the one person in this room that has been with the company the longest. And then I looked next to me, and I saw Tom Rastrelli, and I leaned over. I said, Tom, when did you start? He said, 92. I said, yes. I actually started in 1998, so I'm celebrating 27 years with the company this year. So really excited. A lot of you don't know. Oh, Lauren, I'm sorry. Lauren, when did you start? Shoot. I forgot. I'm sorry, Lauren. All right, I'm number 2. Anyway, no, my point is that I can really relate and appreciate you guys. Some of you know this, some of you may not, but I actually started as a sales representative from the Central Region. And I ran a couple branch offices. I worked in the Central Region office, and then I had the great opportunity to go move to Olean and see the administrative side of the business, and very, very passionate about it. I love the product. So I actually can kind of relate a little. I mean, we're talking a long time ago, so a lot of things have changed, but I can relate to everything that you guys are talking and, in the sales field and about Cutco. So anyway, my talk today, we're really, really excited to be here at the NET meeting, the very first ever NET meeting. What great stuff we had yesterday. It was so awesome. I mean, I just couldn't believe the amount of just the in-depth detail about the events program itself, everything from, again, the sales aspect of it, but to negotiating cost and things like that. My talk today is going to be an extension a little bit of what Kim and Mary talked about online, the Vector Connect or Cutco events section on Vector Connect, and more of the booking process, okay? The tools that we have put in place for you guys to make your jobs easier. Please understand, our goal is to make your jobs easier. The administrative stuff we know is not fun, but it's necessary. Okay, if we didn't book shows for you, you wouldn't have any shows to do. But we need the information from you. We need to know what shows you want to book. We need the right information to be able to book it for you. Okay, so we're a team here, and we want to make sure that we do the right thing and are doing what you guys want to do. So my objective here is to show you our booking process, give you a little bit of behind the scenes, okay, behind the curtain kind of thing, and Oz, and show you how we see things and how we do things, so you guys have a little bit better perspective and little things that you can do to help us. So, all right. Now, unfortunately, I can't see the screen here, which I kind of need a little bit, but all right. The booking process, you guys ready? Yeah? All right, I'm going to go through this, and then we will have a little Q&A just on this portion. So if you have any questions, feel free to write it down, and we will make sure to get those answered for you. So the booking process. Submitting a booking request kind of is the first thing I want to talk about. We all know you must be a company-recognized coordinator to submit a booking request. We do have a couple different ways to submit booking requests. And first is, one other thing too I want to mention, we will never book a show without your written approval as a coordinator, okay? I also want to say that, and I'm speaking to coordinators right now, but this message is for everybody, okay? Whether you are a seasoned coordinator or someone it's a brand new coordinator, or not, maybe a show rep that is aspiring to be a coordinator, or you maybe do searches for your team, finding events. Maybe you actually submit the request for your coordinator. So this is all good information for everybody. Okay, we always never book a show without your approval, so please know that. Also, online booking request form. Who uses this? All right, we need next year at the net meeting, every hand in the air. We really are driving everybody to the online booking request form. We need everybody booking events this way for many different reasons. I'll cover a couple of those later. But this form was created for you guys and for us. It has all the information that we need to book an event. Everything from the promoter information, the dates of the show, the name of the show, what size booth you want, whether you want a corner, do you need electric, did you negotiate cost, things like that. Everything we need to know is on this form, okay? We get it in an email format, and we have all the information right there. Obviously, if we have a question on it, we would respond to you, and you'll know exactly what event we're talking about because it's right there. So definitely try using that, or not try, definitely use the booking request form. Another way is you guys get prospective emails from us. So you've probably seen two different types of emails. Prospective emails that we may enter into our system, and then it's like a form, you guys, it'll say in red, prospective email at the top. It'll have the event information, and then you can simply respond to that you want that event booked. What that means, if you get that email, that means we already have this event in the system, and we have the information. You can just respond to that, okay? The other form you may see oftentimes is just a forwarded email from a promoter that we've received about an event, and you'll see one of us in there saying, hey, Jason, check this show out, or you've done the show for a couple of years, here's some previous results, would you like it rebooked? Okay. You may respond to those emails as well. We do ask that you guys try to be specific in your responses as far as, again, if there's any changes. Sometimes coordinators will say, yes, please rebook, same booth. What we want is try to be a little bit more specific if you know a booth number. Oftentimes, we try to capture a booth number if we have it in our database, but we may not know a specific booth number, or maybe at the last minute you changed a booth number and we don't know what that new booth number is. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. By responding and just saying same booth number, we're either gonna write the same booth number that is in our database, or we're just gonna write same booth as 2015. But again, if that changes, we don't necessarily might not have record of that. So make sure to communicate with us on those, okay? The other type of requests that we get are emails. We have the online booking request, whoops. Okay, you guys a lot of times will just forward an email and say, please book this, okay? Some coordinators will. We really do want you guys to do the online booking request form, okay? Again, twofold for that. The new system, the rebook option, if you've who's used the rebook option? Okay, where it auto pre-fills. It's really very cool, but it's only going to work, the event is only going to show up if you've previously submitted it via the online booking request form. So does that make sense? So every time you guys, obviously if it's a new event, you want to do it that way, but if it's a rebooked event, you have to, the first year you enter it in the online booking request form. The following year, you'll be able to see it in your rebook dropdown. It'll be able to pre-fill, okay? So that's why when you guys forward emails and say, please rebook this, we really want you to submit it via the online booking request form. The other cool thing that's new, attaching documents. How cool is that? Yeah. You can attach the applications and the contracts right to the booking request form, which is a huge, huge help for us, okay? All right, now a little bit, a couple other important reminders. Make sure that you provide us accurate information, okay? Promoter information, promoter contact information. If you have an email, absolutely. If you have the promoter's website, definitely include that. A lot of times, we see sometimes you guys, when you put the address of the event, we need the address of the venue, not the promoter's address. Okay, you guys all understand that, right? Because that's the that's the address that we use to enter in our system for taxes on orders, for Rolo and things like that, to show up in Rolo. We need to make sure that that address is correct. Plus, we want to make sure that the customers know the correct venue and have the address, because that's all linked through cutco.com, so customers can see what shows we're going to be at. Again, like I said, the venue name and address, Rolo, and Cutco.com. Oftentimes, many of you will get emails or calls from you guys. Check that when you can, whenever you can. Go to your state, go to your shows, click on it, make sure that link to that show goes to the correct website. Do you guys all know what I'm talking about? Okay, on Cutco.com, this is for our customers. We want to promote all the events that we will be at. So they can go to that website, click on click on their state, see what show we're going to be at, and it'll take them right to the show link. So it'll give them information about the event. There are some times that we may miss an email, or there's no link, or we have a wrong email address, not email, I'm sorry, a website. So check those often and let us know if there's something that's incorrect. We will get that information updated right away, okay? All right. So a little bit more in detail of behind the scenes and what we do in our office, all right? This is right here what we call a cover sheet. Every event that we enter in our system gets one of these, okay? This is how we assign a show number to each event. Now, there's no rhyme or reason to the number. We just print off a bunch, and the next one in line gets assigned that number. Obviously, you know the letter denotes the year, and I have no idea what we're going to do when we get to 2035. Because 2034 is letter Z, but I'm sure Bushy's already figured something out for that. But this is the number that how we identify each event, okay? And you'll see often this number on your commission statements for show charges, and things like that. So Goldmine itself is the database that we use, and Dave mentioned it yesterday, but this is an internal database, and really this is what pulls this database is where all the information comes from. It's pulled. Information pulls from here for our database in Olean, the 400, where your rep accounts are housed, and for Cutco.com and things like that. Each show record will have the top portion. I just want to show you here. The top portion has this is an event that hasn't happened yet, the LA County Fair, and you can see that the status is pending acceptance, which we're already accepted, but we've sent in our application and things like that. We're just waiting on a contract. But this top portion has all the event information, the show number, the dates, the promoter information, as well as the coordinator information, okay? And then the bottom part has all the booth information, the specifics, as you can see over here, if there's one or two booths, what buildings they're in, as much information that we can capture on this show record, we want to make sure and have. The amount, how much it is it a corner, yes or no? Does it need insurance? How we paid for it? Was it a check? Was it a credit card? Was it American Express? Was it MasterCard? We have a couple different corporate cards that we use. And then, of course, the bottom part is the results. So that's where we enter this information and how Dave runs all of his reports, all the monthly and yearly stats and things like that. So, all right. We even have a notes tab you'll see at the top there. Many times you guys will call in, and actually Ray Sumner, I'll call you out here. He does that often. He'll call, hey, I'm on the road. I got a couple shows I just want to check the status of. Can you look this one up? I'll look up the event. It's pending or okay to book, need contract. And I'll open our notes tab, and in there, we will have the day we entered the event, last time we contacted the promoter, how many, if we contacted the promoter, we'll say, left message for promoter, requested contract. We have the date and time, and who did it? Was it me? Was it Kim? Was it Eileen, Jerry, Mary? And then we'll say, oh, well, geez, we contacted him 2 weeks ago. We left another message last week, and we sent an email. I'll tell Ray that, and he'll be like, all right, great. I'll get a hold of him. I'll help you. I'll see what I can do to help get the contract. Okay, makes sense? So we have, anytime we touch a show record, we put it in our notes what has done. Or the promoter called, said our booth changed, our booth number changed, emailed coordinator. We would let the coordinator know hey, we got a call from the promoter. They had to move your booth. Are you okay with this? Those kind of things. So cool thing, like Dave mentioned yesterday, or Mary mentioned yesterday, Event Connect. You guys are all going to be able to see the notes on every show. Yeah, isn't that cool? So you'll be able to look, in real time and check the state. When you see an event that's at a pending status, you'll be able to look right in notes and see what we've done and how you can help. Okay? We are also able to do searches. For example, this is a search screen. I typed in just the word Southern, and it pulled up every event that has show name that has the word Southern in it. And we can refine those searches. Like there's Southern Women's Show. We do a ton of them, and in different cities, and I could pull up all of those. But we just wanted to give you guys a glimpse of what, the tools that we have and we use and how we see things, okay? All right. Now, next, once we have the booking request from you, we enter it in Goldmine, assign it a show number, and then we need to find the application or the contract if you haven't sent it to us yet. Okay? Ideally, if you guys have it, please send that on, forward it to us, attach it to the booking confirmation, whatever you need to do. If we have that information, it makes our jobs a lot easier. Okay? But if we don't, we obviously will look online ourselves. We'll contact the promoter and get that information. Okay? We then complete the application. Now, as you all know, we use the coordinator's name and Olean's information. There is a specific reason why we do that, okay? We want to make sure everything is filtering through us, okay? We know many of you have been around for a while, but coordinators move territories. Sometimes they leave the business, Anything could happen, and what we really don't want, we have spent many, many years building a relationship with these promoters and how we do our business, how we book our events. So we want everything filtering through us. We don't want it going directly to the event coordinator, because again, what if you move? Think about it. If you actually just move, if you're still a coordinator, but you just move to a new house, think of all the things that you have to change. Okay, you have to, call the credit cards to the bank, everything, all the places you need to change your address. This is just one that you wouldn't have to worry about. We have that, everything filters through us, and then we make sure that you guys get the information, okay? Once the paperwork is complete, then we send it to the promoter, okay? We typically email it. We always want to email it. If it's a credit card, that's usually the easiest way. If it's a check, we have to request a check from our accounting department. When the checks come, we make a copy of the check, okay? And then we mail it with the paperwork. What's nice about copy of the check is sometimes promoters call and say, hey, we didn't get your payment yet. Oh, really? Well, we'll pull the information. We have a copy of the check right here. We fax it to them or email it to them and say, hey, we sent the check on this date. Looks like, you just haven't gotten it yet. Give it another day or two, and then let us know if you don't, and we can always cancel it and reissue it if we have to. But we have a copy of that check, okay? Again, once in a while we fax, but that's kind of an outdated technology. Some of the smaller promoters or smaller events to say, they don't deal with email or anything like that, and we can just fax it to them. So, all right, once an event is completed, meaning we've submitted the booking confirmation, we will then, we've submitted the booking paperwork for the booking, we will send you a booking confirmation. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in detail, but what this means is when you receive this, we have completed our steps as far as getting the information to the promoter, okay? Other things that may be needed are insurance. Many of you don't even realize that a show needs insurance, and we just take care of it for you. Those of you that are on the insurance program, which you all should be as a coordinator, we just take care of it for you. We request the insurance certificate, we get it, we send it on to the promoter, okay? If by chance a promoter contacts you, says, hey, I don't have my insurance yet, you can just email us, or again, you saw yesterday on Vector Connect, there's the insurance request form. Or for a show you booked on your own. If there's an event that you book on your own and it needs insurance, you can submit a request that way, okay? Other things, business licenses. Many events need business licenses. We have almost a business license for almost every single state. Some cities require business licenses. Some we have at a corporate level, and we can provide that information. Many coordinators see when we get business license requests, you'll see it's kind of an auto response that we've put together. We respond to the promoter explaining how our business works, that the reps that are working the events are independent contractors, they're not employees, and they don't collect tax. They write up orders, they collect the funds that's submitted to the corporate headquarters for processing, and we're the ones that pay the taxes for you or on the orders. So we explain that to them. Oftentimes we'll copy the coordinator on that with the business license, because sometimes you're required to have it right at the event, okay? And we'll always do that for you. And reference booth photos, Mary mentioned yesterday. Submit your booth photos. A lot of promoters want us to send a picture of a booth with the application, especially for the newer ones, okay? It'd be really cool to have a picture of everybody's setup so we can include your personal setup. We usually include maybe 2 or 3 just as different options, and just let them know that all of them are a little bit different, but generally the same. The concept is the same of the booth setup. References is another thing many shows ask for. We have a standard list, some of the big events. If it is in a specific area, we will always look up that coordinator and maybe put references of specific shows you've done. Maybe if you guys have a great show with a good relationship with a promoter, let us know. And just say, hey, if we ever needed a reference for me, make sure to use this promoter because they love me, or they'll give a good reference. It's not often that happens, that events ask for references, but we do have those and we do submit those. And lastly is product samples. There are some shows that say, hey, every vendor needs to send in a sample, and before you can be accepted and things like that. So we have a little kit that we'll send a trimmer or something like that, and then return postage, so they return it. We don't give it to them, but they always return it. So just little things like that. So in a perfect world, as we kind of talked about yesterday, if we have all the information that we need, an event really technically can be booked in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes, okay, if we have all the information. What I wanted to show you, again, a little bit more behind the scenes. This is our booking file cabinet. Okay, as of Friday when we left, I'm sure some of these are gone and some of these are added, because Jerry and Eileen are at the office now working hard. But these are all the events that you have given the okay to book. We have the contract on file, and they're ready to go. They're ready to be, paperwork's ready to be filled out and sent to the promoter. Okay? Now, something really important we want you guys to know. We book events chronologically by the start date of the event, unless there is a deadline. We always want to make sure that you guys are getting the best price. If there's an early bird deadline, we will check that deadline. We write it in the upper right corner, highlight it, and that goes to the top of the pile based on when the deadline is. Okay, does that make sense? So we could have a 2017 event that has an April 1st deadline. That's going to be booked before a May event that we just got. Okay? Again, we can crank them out pretty fast, but we do them chronologically first and then by deadline date. Okay? We do check those. Also, another thing I want to mention too, if a promoter may be called, let's say you've talked to a promoter, and then they're contacting you saying, hey, I sent I sent the information, or I thought you said that we would get the information by now. Let's say you submitted the booking request, a few days ago. I haven't seen it yet. I just wanted to follow up. You can always contact us and say, hey, I sent this a week ago, whatever. I know it's not until November, but the promoter's asking for it. Could you maybe make sure that gets bumped up? Does that make sense? So we'll walk over, we'll pull that event, and we'll move it up to the front, or we'll put in notes, hey, TC called, promoter needs this info as soon as possible, to get it booked. So just little things like that. All right. This is what we call our pending files or hot slots. Okay. Yeah, hot slots, baby. These are all the events right here that you guys have given us the okay to book, but they're in limbo. There's something holding them up that we cannot book them, okay? Some things we're waiting on the promoter, but some things we're waiting on you guys. So we felt it really important that we go through some of the different statuses, especially the ones that involve you guys and how you can help us get your events booked, okay? Again, all the statuses are defined on Vector Connect, as Mary and Jerry covered. But again, some of the ones with the little red arrows I wanted to go through in a little more detail for you guys. Prospective events, I mentioned those. You'll either get you'll get emails from us. We have a ton of prospective events. You can respond to those, and those are ones that aren't booked. Those aren't in that picture you found. Those are in a drawer, which you'll see a picture of in a second. But prospective events are events that we have on file that aren't booked. Then we have okay to book, need contract. That means, again, you've given us the okay. We don't have the contract on file. You didn't send it to us. We've reached out to the promoter once, twice, 3 times. We have not gotten the information yet. So anything you can do to help us get that application or contract, we would appreciate. Booked pending is one that it's already booked. We've paid the promoter, but it's pending something. Maybe there's a date change. Okay? Maybe the promoter called and said, hey, we had to move this event. It's a week earlier. Can you guys still make it? We will send you an email. We'll pull up the event, send you an email saying, hey, just got a call. Dates have changed. Are you okay with the new dates? We're never going to say, yeah, no problem. Okay? You guys are the ones that have to staff it. You guys are the ones that do it. So we will put that in a booked pending status. And the reason being is we don't want to remove it from Cutco.com. So it pulls any event that has the word booked in it. We don't want to change it to pending coordinator because it's still booked. It's still an event that we have that's booked. We're still doing it. But we change the status to booked pending. Does that make sense to you guys? And then until you confirm, once you confirm the dates, we open up our notes tab. We put, hey, per Brian Carter, okay with new dates, and we changed it back to booked. And then it gets filed. We have all of our booked events filed by region, by month. So we have a drawer for each region. We have a folder for each month, and that's kind of how we sort our events. Then we have just general pending. Typically, this is something that's usually pending the promoter. Maybe they're waiting on something from us, or we're waiting on something from them. Don't have a whole lot in that slot, but the big one is pending coordinator. Okay, if you ever see a status on my events page that says pending coordinator, that means we need something from you, okay? Really important, guys, if you get emails from Cutco Events or any of us individually, typically we all try to email from Cutco Events if we need something. Please make sure to open that email, read it, respond as soon as you can. Because, again, generally it's something that we need from you, okay? Currently, to put things in perspective, we have over 800 events that are either at a prospective or pending status. This is our prospective drawer. These are all events. There's over 700. These are all events that we have entered. We've taken the time. We've gotten the information, whether it be from email or mail from the promoter. We've created a cover sheet. We've created a show record. And we've sent you the information. We have yet to hear from you whether you want it booked or not. They're sorted by month. So that's February now through December, and then with the very back, we have a 2017 folder, because now that we're already into 2016, all of the January events that you guys did, promoters are sending us information. Here's your re-sign. Here's your, so we've entered that information. I think we already have about 10 or 12 events booked for 2017. So pretty cool. But anyway, again, we wanted you guys to see this. This is a lot of events. A lot of events that we could be doing. And again, if there's events, if you see a prospective email and it's an event that you can't do, you can't do, let us know and we'll change that status. Coordinator decline, and we actually do have a reason why declined little tab that we could, no staffing or calendar conflict. Maybe it's, a lot of them in January that you guys couldn't do was because of year-end banquets. So those little things we want to note, because next year, when we look at the show and it says coordinator declined, we want to know why it was declined. We'll look at notes and say, oh, that was a bad show. maybe they don't want to do it again. We'll still ask you though. Does that kind of make sense? So keeps everybody in the loop. All right, now back to our pending hot slots. Go through these a little bit in more detail. We have 21 pending acceptance. What this means, pending acceptance means it's an application process. A lot of events we have to send an application fee or we have to apply to be in. Oftentimes they're ones that we do every year, but it's still an application process every single year, okay? So we send them the application, whether there's a fee or not, it goes into that slot pending acceptance. Because then what happens, guys, is we're able to follow up on them. If we don't hear from a promoter in a month or two, or if we send an application, sometimes there's specifics on there where it'll say you'll be notified in July, by the end of July, if accepted. We'll put that in notes. We're not going to call the promoter in May, say, hey, did you get our application? Are we accepted yet? They told us you'll hear in July. So if it comes to be August, you know what I'm saying? August, first, second week in August, we'll say, whoa, we haven't heard anything yet. We're going to contact that promoter as follow-up. Again, another area you guys can help in too. 17 that are in pending, 31 events that are pending coordinator, 29 events that are booked pending, and this is the big one, 53 events that you've given us the okay. We don't have the contract yet. We don't have the application. So we really need your guys' help. And again, something that coordinators can delegate to a team member to book an event, to search online or help us contact the promoter. Any help you guys can provide is definitely a huge help. So these right here at a pending Sandus, there's 151 shows in limbo right now. 151 shows, okay? We need your guys' help. In getting those cleared up, because they're events that you guys want. They're events that you want booked. You've given us the okay, and and again, aside from those perspectives, the 700 perspectives, this is over and above that. These are ones that you've already told us that you want done. Check your My Events page. That's the biggest thing you can do. All the statuses are on there. If anything is pending, contact the events team. Use that envelope, guys. Everything's right there for you. You see a show, you see it's pending. You can click on that envelope. And, Ray likes to give us a call. You can click on the envelope and say, hey, what's up with this event? Give me the scoop. We'll jump on the event. We'll copy the notes. We'll paste it in the email. We'll respond. You'll see everything that's been done with that event. And then you can help, help us get the information or contact the promoter. All right. Once an event is booked, booking confirmation. Told you I wanted to touch upon this a little bit. This is the email that you guys see once we've sent the information. It says this event is now booked for you. We've had many conversations in our department about this, and I want to clarify something a little bit. What we want to ask you guys for is some help with a little follow-up. Keep in mind the confirmation that we send you, again, means that we've sent the promoter the information. Sometimes you'll see one that says, a check has been mailed from Olean. Have you guys seen those? Okay. That means you receiving that confirmation the day we're mailing the check. What we're going to ask you guys, and what would be really helpful, is for you guys, whether it be the coordinator themselves or you're delegating to a show member or a team member, following up with the promoter. Okay. How cool would that be that the promoter gets a call from you a couple days later saying, hey, I just got notification that my corporate office sent over the paperwork or they mailed the check. I just wanted to make sure you got everything you need, tell you I'm really excited for the event, and see if there's anything else that you need from us. Okay, this kind of is twofold. It's helping us. We often, when we ask promoters, please confirm that you received the paperwork or payment. Keep in mind the number of shows we're booking. We book events for 70 plus coordinators, okay? It's hard to follow up on every single one. We always note our show record that the paperwork was received, but anything you guys can do to help to just make sure that the promoter has everything they need will help everybody out, okay? So give them a quick call. If it's a check, you can wait a couple days, depending on where you're at. Obviously, if you're on the West Coast and we're mailing a check from Olean, you can wait 4 or 5 days, and then just give the promoter a call. Hey, did you get everything you need? Awesome. Just, and if they didn't, let us know, and we'll follow up on it, okay? Again, sometimes checks get lost in the mail. It's very few and far between, but it does happen. So never hurts to call and follow up and ask, okay? Booking confirmation, follow up with the promoter. Also communicate us, any changes. Oftentimes you guys may upgrade a booth. Okay, we'll get a call from a promoter. Hey, I just talked to Evelyn, and she wants to upgrade her booth, and she told me to call you guys to get $200 more. Oh, all right, here's our credit card. You know, we are never going to do that. We're going to check with you first. So very, very important that if you are making any changes or talking to promoters, hey, let me get with my corporate office. They're going to be the ones that'll make the payment or get anything you need. Let me give them a quick call, and then they'll contact you, or at least wait till tomorrow and get a hold of them. Okay? Shoot us a quick email. Let us know, so we're expecting that call. We often, get calls from promoters saying, "Oh, I talked to so and so, and they want to rebook for next year, and they told me to call you." Okay? So again, you need to make sure to submit that booking request so we're ready for that call and we're prepared and we know that that's an event you want booked. Make sense? Okay. And then finally, exhibitor packets, move in, move out information. Whenever we get this, usually it's via email. It's more and more via email these days. We will forward them on to you. It is your responsibility as a coordinator to forward them on to your event team, anyone working the event. And sometimes we get stuff in the mail. We'll typically mail it out. Please understand, we had a conversation with Di this morning, and she's like, "Hey, I'm not the coordinator. I don't book the event. All the information goes to my coordinator." We always check dates, when we receive information, how soon an event is coming up. If it's something that's time sensitive, we always try to call the coordinator and say, "Hey, are you working this event or somebody else? We have these passes. Who should we send them to?" We will do that. Okay, so keep in mind, again, all the stuff that's come via email, make sure to open those Cutco Events emails because it usually has important information. And then finally, recaps and stats. Again, can't stress enough how important this stuff is, not only to you guys, but for our program, for you guys to report your results, so we can track the business, track how great Cutco Events is. Recaps, can't stress enough the deadline for those, as well as making sure to get them in as soon as possible to maximize the generous 45 days payback schedule that we've given you guys. So, I just want to say in closing, you guys, we are here for you. I know you guys know that. I know you appreciate everything we do. We really love coming to work every day. We love what we've built together in this program. Please don't hesitate ever. If you guys have any questions or need us, give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll do whatever we can to help. So we appreciate you, and we're very excited for 2016. So thanks.
Okay. Yes. Stand up, tell us who you are, where you're from.
All right, I'm Pressy. I had a question. I was just curious because I know a lot of other companies, they actually, I'm a Southwest region, sorry. A lot of companies, they upfront or they help out in some sort of event, or they donate or they pay for the event and stuff like that to corporations. Is there ever a point in the business where maybe you guys might, the company itself might help out with that? Do you know, or is there either a sponsorship or some sort of maybe a percentage to pay for the events that we have going on?
Dave? Some things our fearless leader has to answer.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I think that's going to be dependent upon the event. In terms of a company sponsorship, there's a lot of parameters that go into that. If it's something that you guys are looking at, send it to us and we'll make sure it's vetted through the appropriate channels. There are some things that we do offer in terms of helping out with the 1/3 promo or 1/3 product allotment. We're going to be working to have some marketing display materials that you'll be able to use. Those are some tools that that will be coming later this year that could be used towards that. To try to help out with that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think are just maybe dependent upon the event. There's not necessarily a general stance that is all right there just for every particular event where something like that would be available. But we'll definitely have some stuff for you guys mid-year this year, this summer, that you guys will be able to take advantage of in terms of having product to be used for that purpose, to be able to give to a promoter to show off what they can be expecting.
Cool. All right. Next question. Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Leslie, and I'm from the Empire Division.
Everybody say, hey, Leslie.
Two quick questions. When you send us a prospective event to be rebooked, you would, I think, just use the last year's price? If there was a price increase, is that like a separate notification to us?
If there was a price increase, we would let you know.
Okay, separately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and then when I put in that website in the booking request form, is that the website that goes to New York State events that the customers see?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Great questions. All right, cool. So we're going to come over here. Who are you? Where are you from?
Patty from Hawaii. Hi, Dad.
Betty. Aloha.
Aloha. Question about when we are booking book on events. Sometimes when you go and see the past events, you don't see the cost of the event. How do we make it show?
That's a great question.
So the information on the past events is from what was in the system earlier. So if it was a booked-owned event and you didn't tell us what you paid for it, we didn't capture that. So that's why it's important to have that information in there. If we're just listing it like, hey, I booked this event, and we didn't capture the actual price that you paid for it on your own, then it wouldn't reflect for you when you're seeing those fields that are there. It would be something that we'll be glad to like send you a list of all past booked events, booked-owned events, and we can say like, hey, what did you pay? We'll update it, so that way when you're pulling the drop down, everything would be reflected for you in those fields. Okay?
Anybody else?
Yeah, a couple more questions here.
Hans Hilton from the Western Region. I got a question for Bush also. So we had the extremely discounted product we could buy for the mall display program.
Yep.
That would be hugely helpful for our major fairs. Is that in the works?
That's what I was talking about coming mid this year.
Mid this year. Perfect.
Boom. Who likes hearing about cool enhancements? Yeah, that's cool.
Let's stick to questions specific to the booking process. Okay.
Ah,
Sorry, no,
Deb
I'm
throws
just calling
down.
hands out
Ready?
there.
Griffin from Oregon. So a lot of us reps, we go out and we find our own shows and we give that information to our coordinator. But some of these shows, you're lucky to get a website and an online application and maybe a contact name and number. How important is to you to have like every bit of information, or can we just say there's an online app?
Well, we, as you saw from the Goldmine record, we want to capture as much information as we can for the promoter, for future, whatever. Oftentimes it's on the application, it's on the application, or some places don't even have an application. We just call them up and they say, yeah, just give me credit card over the phone and we're good. Like, okay. They don't require very much information. But I mean, really, I did have in my notes that I didn't mention, we really want to avoid, like on the booking request form, for you guys to put NA or unknown or same as last year, things like that. We really do need that information if it's available. If it's not, obviously there's not much we can do about it. So, okay.
Cool. All right. We got another one over here. So tell us who you are, where are you from?
Michael Southard, Olympia, Washington Division, Western Region. Yay!
Everybody say hi to Michael.
Hi, Michael.
There we go.
So, booking the online request form in a specific booth number, if we have it, great. But where would we put the section of show? Special comments, or on the application when it's faxed or scanned in?
All right, so you're saying that you don't have a specific booth number, but you know what area you want to be in.
Because the promoter doesn't have a specific booth number.
Great.
For whatever
No,
reason.
that's a great
Yeah.
question. The notes section, guys. If you don't have a specific booth number that you've negotiated with the promoter, put it in the notes. Something else I want to kind of piggyback off of yesterday's talks, like Curtis and stuff, the booth negotiating. We are not going to negotiate for you, okay? We can't. We're not the salespeople, okay? You guys need to do that negotiation. We'll do whatever we can as far as the early birds getting you the best price, or booth. We're never going to pick a booth for you. I kind of mentioned that as well. If you want to be in a certain area. Or, you know, I took some notes yesterday. Hey, we never want to be in aisle 1. We never want to be in the first booth. That's good stuff for us to know, because that's stuff we can mention to the promoter if they ask or if they need to. But make sure to write anything you want us to put on the application. Hey, they want to be in somewhere in the 4th row near this. We always say we don't want to be next to any microphone sales booths or next to booths with music or things like that. There's some things that we do tell them, you know, but anything specific as far as an area, put that in notes and we will do that. Again, guys, ideally, you're talking to the promoters first. You're discussing this with them. They know what you already want. They know the process. And you're saying, great, okay, I'll make sure our corporate office sends you the information. We'll put that on the application and go from there. Does that make sense? Okay.
Awesome. Good stuff. We got time for one more question. One more. I'm going to go over here.
Don't give it to Jill.
It's going to Adam.
Adam from Chicago. This is just a suggestion. Hi, guys. You guys list all the events on cutco.com and every state, which is awesome. Just a suggestion, could we add the booth location as a possible thing to add?
Again, that's something that we've talked about, but again, as I mentioned, we don't always get the booth number. So then we create hey, this show has a booth number, this one doesn't, or this one, you know, some shows don't actually have booth numbers. You know what I mean? So I think it was something that we decided not to put on there. You know, maybe something we can revisit, but obviously there's space limitations to, you know, where I think we have the city and the state, you know, that it's in, and the show name obviously as well. So, but it was something we can look at.
All right, everybody, let's give Deb a round of applause. Thank you so much. By the way, if you have additional follow-up questions for her, you can email events@cutco.com, and Deb or anybody on the team would be happy to answer those questions for you. So.